And I kind of thought initially that job would be this is a small movie. I mean, there's no actor and there's no, like, how can we have all this money for, tanks and walls and all this kind of stuff. I was hired on Life of Pi, or met a little bit, because of the probably 2 movies I shot previously. I did Benjamin Buttons, and then I did Tron, which was 3D. I mean, I think Ang knew that he wanted to shoot digital, and he wanted to shoot 3D. I never have gotten a job off an interview. I usually interview and I go, like, I'm toast. And actually, I thought that interview was really bad. And then the producer called me up after the interview and he said, wow, you did really, Ang really liked you. And he says, why don't you come meet us at some demo here and some 3D demo that Ang's going to be at. And from then on, then I was kind of on the job. And I was really surprised. I was my initial mind was kind of doing this in we're going to be in the ocean, right? We're going to be struggling, or off piers or looking out, or try to do this in a very, I didn't imagine that we would have like all that we had, to make this movie. And when I found that we can contain it, I can control the weather, I can make this, these walls and this big tank, and I can orient to the sun and make it all correct and plan it all out. Well, we had references from the very beginning before we start our day. We have reference for the whole job of what is intended look. We have look references that are, we spent time on one of our walls that had, glorious sunset, and there were some shots that weren't in the boards. Like, no one wants to take a really kind of harsh picture, so I had my own interpretation of when he's dying of thirst. It's hard to die of, feel like you're dying of thirst in a glorious sunset, so or feel like you're really hot and the light's like golden and beautiful and everything's like still. That doesn't feel right. So I knew that I would kind of want to attack kind of on some of those scenes at like a really hard, top light, and let it be kind of this undiffused, unfiltered, and harsh kind of feeling, and where you feel like his skin's blistering and what that looks like. And then there's other scenes like when the golden sun, the golden light, that little moment there, and that's all beautiful. So we have, and I always like the contrast between the harsh sun and to that. I feel it kind of gives you room to appreciate the beauty more. Oh, there was a lot of artistic renderings that we looked at. I mean, that golden thing was definitely a reference. This is a watercolor painting that Ang showed me. I don't remember the artist, but it was a watercolor, this really painterly, I mean, not photographic reference at all. It was more like a painting. And he really wanted this kind of hyper. So I made this kind of offset, this really warm and this kind of cool kind of fill to make it feel like it's really this kind of, so like this side of the world was kind of cool, but the strength came in this warmth. So the fill was like this little, like at this lower level, that kind of helped you kind of go, wow, I think you have to be able to collaborate. If I don't collaborate with the VFX department, with the production designer, and get the director and have a good dialogue, like that's a very continual line between all of us. Like, I mean, you can talk to our department about helping you by making the walls darker or a shader or warmer in tone. You could talk to VFX about like, hey, when I do this lighting here, it'd be great to have this extension, this color, this is my palette for this, and extend that on. So I think it's very important to have an ongoing dialogue. That's why Pi is successful, because we're all in concert with each other. If I'm just doing my own thing, and they have to understand what I'm doing and work with what I'm doing. They can't make a high noon shot in a glorious sunset and look great. It just feels disconnected. So. Yeah.